Inside a cluttered garage, Charlie is hard at work repairing the plane his wife Sarah gifted him for his birthday. Sarah interrupts, letting him know she's about to head off to a business conference in London. She once again invites him to join her, but Charlie declines. He's buried in work. Not long after, Charlie is seen entering CIA headquarters, heading straight to the decryption and analysis department. Passing through layers of security, each one his own invention, Charlie makes his way to the office. Then, a familiar but mysterious message arrives. It's from Inquilene, the enigmatic informant he's secretly dealt with for years. As usual, Inquilene has explosive intel to offer. But this time, there's a warning. The documents could shake the CIA to its core. Charlie throws out a casual guess, Istanbul, but dismisses it quickly.
Charlie dives into the files, but shockingly, even his brilliance hits a wall. The code is uncrackable. After a short lunch, he returns to his office and gets a call from Sarah, who tells him she's already arrived in London. Charlie plays along, even though he's been tracking her every move. The call is short. He's itching to get back to the encrypted files.
Still stuck, Charlie takes his computer to a restricted area with advanced systems to speed things up. After hours of decoding, he finally unlocks the truth, and it stuns him. The documents expose a government-sanctioned drone strike disguised as a suicide bombing, a massive cover-up. News clips report 150 dead, including French Special Forces and Danish Marines.
The operation was orchestrated by Chief Moore, Charlie's own boss. That night, Charlie tries calling Sarah but only manages to leave a voicemail. The next day at the office, he's caught off guard. Moore is waiting for him.
Moore escorts him to Director O'Brien's office, who breaks the devastating news. A terrorist attack in a London hotel. Sarah was among the victims. Charlie refuses to believe it. Moore switches on the TV. News footage confirms 4 terrorists stormed the hotel, took 4 hostages, and executed 2.
Then comes hotel security footage, pure chaos. One of the victims, Sarah. When Charlie returns home, the place is swarmed by reporters. Police try to hold them back, while a friend sneaks Charlie in unnoticed. The next day, driven by doubt, he confronts Moore and Supervisor Caleb. The attack doesn't add up, not in camera-drenched London. He finds it impossible that the terrorists could vanish so easily, especially driving through traffic. Moore insists on an ongoing investigation, but Caleb coldly tells Charlie to go home. Later, Charlie collects Sarah's body and belongings. At home, he finds a gift she bought for him, triggering a complete breakdown. Unable to sit idle, Charlie returns to work. He accesses the restricted system and hacks into the hotel's security cameras and surrounding areas. Piece by piece, he reconstructs the event timeline. The 4 terrorists hijacked a vehicle in the East End, slipped into the hotel via the service entrance, and scrubbed every trace behind them. Their mission? A meeting with an Indonesian firm, Impact Investments. But something went sideways. One of the firm's security personnel clashed with a terrorist, triggering gunfire. One guard killed, another left critical. Chaos followed. The terrorists seized hostages, including Sarah, who had tried to help others escape.
Charlie uses facial and voice analysis to ID the attackers. Mishka from Moscow, ex-South African Special Forces operative Lawrence, mercenary Horst, and ex-intelligence officer Gretchen. Moore and Caleb show no surprise. Charlie realizes they knew already. They feign concern and send him to a therapist.
The next day, Charlie sneaks a microchip into his ID badge and bypasses security undetected. In his office, he prints the classified files and uses a skimmer to digitize the data. That night, he's at a bar, eyes fixed on a jukebox. Something's in motion.
The next morning, he storms into a meeting with his superiors, laying out Moore's dark history, bombing, civilian casualties, dirty ops. Then he drops the bombshell, a dead man switch. If he doesn't input a code every 5 hours, the documents go public. His demand? Full CIA training, fake IDs, cash, weapons, and info on Sarah's killers.
Charlie leaves the meeting and vomits from the pressure. Moore scoffs at the threat, calls it a bluff, but Caleb warns they can't take that chance. They start hunting for the trigger, planning a fatal training accident if it's fake. The team figures out Charlie likely used a skimmer, but not on a secure PC, on a printer. Surveillance shows him buying a magnetic strip. Still, how did he sneak it in and out? They search his house and trace him to a specific bar twice. At the bar, they check the jukebox. A strange ABBA CD is playing static. They grab the disc. Meanwhile, Charlie is welcomed at a CIA training facility by Colonel Henderson. First stop, the firing range. Charlie is no marksman. Shooting isn't his thing. He can't hit targets unless he's close.
But when it comes to building bombs, he's a prodigy. Henderson is stunned. Next comes identity training. Under stress and physical harassment, Charlie still recites his alias flawlessly. New passports follow.
That night, Henderson visits Charlie's room. He tells him he's not a killer, but Charlie insists he wants justice. Henderson hands him a gun. Prove it. Charlie's hands tremble. He lowers the weapon. Back at HQ, the CD is finally decrypted. Charlie was bluffing.
The team alerts leadership, but Charlie has been eavesdropping the whole time thanks to a bug hidden in the files he gave them. Moore calls Henderson and demands Charlie's arrest, but it's too late. Charlie's vanished. Moore finally notices the bug and calls him out for treason.
Charlie discards his earpiece and boards a plane. In London, he slips through customs and heads to Paris. The CIA spots his fake passport and Moore sends Henderson after him. Charlie checks into a hotel near a restaurant frequented by Gretchen and begins tracking her.
He spends hours monitoring Gretchen's building, waiting for her to leave. When a tenant exits, Charlie sneaks inside. Following an online tutorial, he picks the lock to her apartment, snaps photos of her schedule, and finds a gun in a drawer, which he pockets without hesitation.
His tracker pings Gretchen's on her way back. Charlie hides on the staircase, heart pounding. But when she enters, he can't pull the trigger. Overwhelmed, he flees to the hotel and pretends Sarah is there with him. Later, while reviewing the photos, he discovers Gretchen frequents a hospital. A dive into her medical records shows she suffers from severe allergies.
The next day, Charlie buys a mountain of flowers and waits for Gretchen at a nearby cafe. He tails her to the hospital. Disguised as a doctor, he sneaks in while the real one steps out to fix a computer issue. Locking the door behind him, Charlie seals Gretchen inside a medical chamber and fills it with pollen.
As Gretchen struggles to breathe, Charlie offers to help only if she reveals Horst's location. She gasps, unable to speak. Charlie opens the chamber, but she shoves him against the desk. A brutal fight erupts, shattering furniture as they go. Charlie pulls his gun, but she overpowers him and bolts.
Charlie chases her through the streets. Just as he raises his weapon, a speeding car hits Gretchen. Horrified, Charlie forces himself to approach the body, only to grab her phone. Back at the hotel, he washes the blood off and starts packing. That night, he buys a bus ticket to Marseille. News of Gretchen's death reaches CIA HQ. O'Brien presses Moore for details. He vaguely claims she was taken out by one of their own.
Charlie drowns his guilt at a bar. Through blurry eyes, he thinks he sees Sarah dancing, only to realize it's someone who resembles her. Then he spots Henderson approaching. Panic sets in. Charlie shoves past patrons and flees, ducking into another bar to hide. But Henderson tracks him there too. Cornered, Charlie locks himself in the bathroom. No windows, no escape. Resigned, he emerges and joins Henderson at the bar. They chat briefly before Charlie reveals a countdown on his phone. Seconds later, a bomb explodes in the bathroom, unleashing chaos.
Henderson loses track of Charlie in the pandemonium. The tracker on Charlie's phone goes dark. The next morning, Charlie contacts Inquilin for help. He boards a cargo plane headed to Turkey.
In Istanbul, Charlie visits a restaurant and sends a message to Inquilin. A man's phone rings nearby. Charlie makes a move, but a woman intercepts him. "Check your phone," she says. Outside, she confirms her identity. She already knows about Sarah. She hands him a shopping bag to stash his gear and tells him to blend in before they regroup at a garage.
Later, they reunite and she drives him to her hideout. Along the way, she shares her past. Her husband was the original Inquilin, a CIA asset embedded in Russian intelligence. After he fell from a window, she took up his mantle. This is the first place she stayed more than 3 years. She's tired of running and ready to help.
The conversation turns to their targets. Horst is the kingpin who recruits mercenaries for Moore. Lawrence is the weapons supplier. Inquilin offers to pose as an arms dealer to reach him. Mishka, the wild card, posts everything online. A facial recognition sweep of a woman in his photos leads them to Spain.
Back at CIA HQ, Caleb urges his team to monitor all known associates to locate Charlie. Meanwhile, O'Brien warns Moore to cease all black ops unless cleared by her. Moore casually deflects. He's heard that speech before and offers his full support. After the meeting, O'Brien is shown footage of Henderson in Spain. Moore sent him there. She retaliates by dispatching her own agent. Meanwhile, Charlie and Inquilin hack hotel surveillance and confirm Mishka's location. Charlie heads to Madrid and checks into the same hotel.
He discovers that Mishka loves swimming in the Skybridge pool connecting the rooftops. Henderson's already in the area. Charlie builds a gadget and hides it inside the hotel. Later at the bar, he notices a familiar face. It's a tail. He warns Inquilene, who IDs the man as CIA. She also spots Henderson. She urges Charlie to abort. He refuses.
When Mishka heads to the pool, Charlie confronts him. He demands Horst's location, threatening to destroy the pool if Mishka stays silent. The Russian scoffs, but when the glass starts cracking, panic sets in. He swims frantically, but it's too late. The pool shatters, and he plunges to his death as the water floods the street.
Inquilene urgently guides Charlie as agents close in. A chase explodes through the hotel. Henderson nearly catches him until he's attacked by the second agent. A brutal fight erupts in the laundry room. The two agents throw each other across the room. Henderson jams the man's head into a washing machine. The other agent pulls a gun, but Henderson turns the tables and shoots him. Charlie walks in, unsure whether to intervene. Inquilene screams in his ear, "Run!"
Back at the CIA, O'Brien demands answers. Moore casually claims Charlie is on bereavement leave, but she's got hotel footage. Caleb's team also reviews the footage and realizes Charlie had help. Digging into Charlie's encrypted chats, they uncover messages from Inquilene. Cross-referencing old files, they connect the dots. Inquilene is dead, but his wife must have taken over. That night, Charlie and Inquilene decide to sleep side by side for comfort, but they're jolted awake by a bird's screech and an army of agents on the security feed.
They rush into a hidden tunnel. As they flee, a drone spots them. Sneaking through a nearby building, they slip out just before the agents storm in. Meanwhile, their computers self-destruct, erasing everything. Sprinting down the beach, they reach Inquilene's car, only to be attacked by agents on land and sea. A dramatic chase follows. Their car is riddled with bullets. Inquilene is hit. Charlie, devastated, shoves her body aside and takes the wheel. He finally shakes the pursuers. Later, Charlie stashes the car in a garage and kisses Inquilene goodbye. The next day, he contacts Lawrence under the guise of an arms dealer and sets up a meeting. He travels to Romania, buys new gear, and hacks a Berlin security feed to fake his location. Lawrence arrives and finds a ringing phone on a chair. Charlie speaks through the call, directing him to a box. Inside, bombs and a photo of Sarah. Charlie steps out and demands Horst's location. Lawrence spills. Horst operates in Russian waters and uses coded messages via his men. He throws down his phone. Charlie grabs it and leaves. Moments later, the bombs detonate.
The CIA learns of Lawrence's death and realizes they've been duped. Charlie was never in Berlin. In a Russian hotel, Charlie opens Sarah's gift, a puzzle. Solving it reveals a heartfelt message. The next morning, he spots a suspicious vehicle at the airport and sends a coded message. He watches a man near the car check his phone. Bingo. Charlie tails him, takes photos of his boat, then heads back. Cross-referencing the registration, he locates the yacht and maps out Horst's sea routes. The next morning, Charlie approaches the boat, but gets knocked out cold. When he wakes, he's face-to-face with Horst. The villain taunts him, calling out his inability to kill directly. He hands Charlie a gun. Prove me wrong. Charlie can't do it. Then a twist. The yacht veers off course. Chaos erupts. Charlie reveals the truth. He hacked into the system. The yacht, once CIA-controlled, is now rerouted to Finland. The Finnish Navy and Interpol surround them and take Horst and his men into custody. Later, O'Brien holds a press conference. She confirms the arrest of rogue CIA agents who exploited agency resources. Henderson approaches Charlie, quietly praising him for what he's done. Charlie visits Sarah's grave one last time. Then, at long last, he returns to the garage, climbs into the cockpit, and finally takes that plane for a ride. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more movie recaps like this. Thanks for watching.